Hello everybody and welcome to this Verbling class. My name is Teacher Amy and today's class is all about our amazingly plastic brains. This is a reading class, so do come along in and join us if you would like to practice your reading and pronunciation skills. We'll also be learning some vocab and talking about the brain, the human brain, which is kind of an interesting topic, and it's, I suppose, kind of fascinating the way that the brain is able to heal itself and change. So that's kind of the theme of the topic today. So if you'd like to come along in and join us, you would be very welcome. While we're waiting for those students who have already booked a slot to get here, let me let you know about a few pages that you can access in your spare time that might be of assistance to you with your experience on Verbling and just in general English learning. So the first is my Facebook page, and this is my Verbling Teacher Facebook page where you can go just to keep an eye on what's going on, to share things, to see some resources that I've shared. Sometimes I put upcoming classes up on there in case there's something particularly of interest. Some really great writing that students have done from my classes, maybe some great discussions that we've had, lots of different random things, so it's worth keeping an eye on if you're a Facebook fan. All of the teachers have one of these, so you can like as many of the teachers on Verbling as you like. The other page is my Verbling teacher page. And the Verbling teacher pages are the place to go, really, if you want to find out more about a particular teacher. So if you're interested in them, if you've seen them on YouTube, if you've attended one of their classes and you think, I'd like to do a private tutoring session, or I'd like to follow the upcoming classes that are going on with this teacher, then the best place to go is to the Verbling teacher page. You can see their timetable and their schedule for private tutoring and classes, and you can find out more about them, watch their videos, as well as get in touch with them via the messaging feature if that's something that you want to do. So do check out those two pages. As I said before, this is a primarily reading class. We're going to read a really interesting article on the way that the human brain is able to change, repair itself, heal itself, and change as our lives go on and as different things happen to us. So I guess it's relevant for the language learner interested in science. So if that sounds like you, come on in and do join us. So we're going to say hello to who we've already got here. So first of all, Luis. How are you, Luis?
Hello, Amy. I'm great, thank you.
Excellent. Good to see you again, Luis. I've had a bit of a cold, so excuse me about the coughing. Hopefully it won't be too intrusive. What have you been up to over the last few days?
I have been studying verbally a lot because I am moving from my house, so I just preparing these days. I'm not doing much work.
So you're getting ready to move house?
Yes, I'm going to
And
move to another city.
okay, awesome. And which city are you moving to?
It's 1 hour by plane from the city where I live right now. I live in Belo Horizonte, which is the capital of the Minas Gerais state in Brazil. And I going to the interior. It's 1 hour traveling by plane.
Oh, wow, that sounds amazing. And why are you moving, Luis?
I going to do a new college degree, and I going to study language actually. So I going to be like how can I say like a worker. I'm gonna be a teacher in the future.
All right, awesome. That's great news. Well, I hope the move goes well. And how far off is it? How many days have you got until you move?
Next month. I going there next week to find house and to arrange everything.
Okay, and then you're moving next month.
Yes,
All
that's
right, well,
correct.
that's really exciting. So congratulations for still finding time to come on to Verbling while you're moving house. But wow, very exciting. So I hope it all goes well for you.
Thank you, Emma.
All right, who else do we have here? Veronica, hello.
Hello.
Veronica, I think I've met you before, but I can't actually remember.
Yes, I think we've met once
Once. Okay, that makes me feel better. So I haven't forgotten a
Yes.
regular student. Could you remind me a little bit about yourself?
I'm from Poland, and I'm a student. I graduate high school this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what else to say about me.
All right, well, that's interesting enough. Whereabouts do you live in Poland?
Once again, could you repeat?
Sure. Where do you live in Poland? Which city or which place?
In the center of Poland, it is a city called Łódź. It's very difficult to read when you have it written, and probably
Really?
it's difficult to understand it in English. But it's Łódź. It means
It
both.
sounds like a funny name. How big is it, Veronica? Is it a big city?
It is the third biggest city in Poland.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it is big then. All right, very interesting. Well, there you go. I've learned something today. All right, well, lovely to have you both in class today. We're going to be talking about the brain and how sort of it's able to recover and repair itself after trauma and how it's able to change. Personally, I find it kind of amazing because I know that it's like the body part that we know least about, even though really it's sort of like the most important body part we have. So, Louise, first of all, you. What do you know about the brain, if anything?
I don't know much. It's just where we have our thinking.
Yeah.
And I protect a lot because if I have a fall when I am riding, can be actually I have one accident when I was a child. So I am not totally normal. I have something. I have a trauma when I was a
Had a
child.
trauma. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
So now I
what
am
has that
very.
meant for you?
They just said that could be the worst situation, but it wasn't. Was okay.
All right, that's great news, Louise. But so did you have damage to your head?
Yes, they say trauma. There is a name for that, but it's like brain trauma. Should be
Mm-hmm.
something like that. But
Yeah, for sure.
was not like I think I was a child, so was okay. I recovered very well. Was not
Mm-hmm.
so aggressive. Maybe I was treated in the right time, in the right hospital very fast, so it was okay.
All right, well, that's great to hear. There you go. You're a living example of what we're going to read about today. Thank you,
I
Louise.
just have now superpowers, teacher.
Do you? What kind of superpowers do you have?
I can see
you
the
fly?
future.
Oh, you can see the future. Oh, right. Well, it doesn't say anything about that in the article, but you'll have to write into the magazine.
That's okay.
All right, let's say hello to some other students who've got here while we've been chatting. Aldona, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Hello, teacher.
It's nice to see
Hello,
you again.
class.
You've
Nice to
caught
see you
us
too.
talking about the brain today, Aldona, because
Mhm.
we're going to read an article about it, about how its plasticity kind of means that you can recover and change. Like, it's kind of amazing, I think. Do you know anything about the brain? Luis was telling us he had an accident when he was younger, and now he has superpowers.
As I know, my brain works fine without any problems.
Good to hear. Excellent. That is good to hear. All right. So you haven't had any experiences in your life or know any people who've had, I don't know, issues with their brains or anything that's come up?
No.
Not really?
Fortunately not.
Yeah, fortunately not. Good answer. All right. Well, welcome, Aldona. Who else do we have here? Alexander, hello. Oh, and goodbye. All right, hopefully you'll be coming back in a moment. Ali, how are you today?
Hi, Amy. I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
Excellent. It's good to see you. You know, Alexander had a picture of a cat there, and I was
Yeah.
worried for a moment that the cat was going to eat your budgie picture, but he's disappeared in just in time, so you don't need to worry.
Yeah.
I'm really
It's
kidding.
not a brave cat.
All right. How are you, Ali? So, do you know anything about the human brain?
Not so much, just in general things.
Not too much? No, not had any
Yeah.
particular experiences or people that you know who've had issues with their, I don't know, accidents or amazing things have happened? No?
No, fortunately.
Well, yes,
Everything
don't
is
worry about
okay.
that. Everything's okay so far? All right. Well,
Yeah.
we're going to learn a lot this morning in that case. And who else do we have here? Somebody who I can't read your name because it looks like it's in Arabic. So hello to person with a cardigan and shirt and tie. Are you there? No? I'm sorry, I can't read your name because it's in Arabic. Can anyone here read Arabic? Ali, can you read that by any chance?
No.
Nope. Oh well,
He's gone.
worth a try. He's gone anyway. All right, so guys, let's get on with our reading. I'll share the article with you. We're going to focus mainly on our reading today, so it's pronunciation and new vocab. It's a really interesting topic, so I'm going to share my screen. If you want to load it up yourself, then there's the link. Hopefully you can read this okay on the screen. So what we've got is our amazingly plastic brains. Mental and physical exercise can keep the brain fit and help it recover capacities lost to disease and trauma. I suppose this is relevant to all of us, really, because when we're learning a language, it's like a very specific part of your brain, and it applies in a way that I suppose the more exercise you give your brain, the better it gets. So whether or not you've had a trauma or a disease like Luis, and whether or not you end up with superpowers, I hopefully think it will still be useful. So Aldona, could you start us off, please, with the first paragraph?
Yes. Can the brain heal and preserve itself, or improve its functioning as we get older? For some time, many scientists have tended to think of our brains as machines, most commonly as computers, destined to break down over time under the strain of age and use. In recent years, however, research in neuroscience has begun to show the inadequacy of this metaphor for describing the psychology of the brain. It turns out that our brains, like our bodies in general, are far more likely to waste away from underuse than to wear down from overuse.
Great, thank you, Aldona. Beautiful reading.
Well,
Just a couple of words to go through. So, this one here is destined.
destined. Destined.
And this one, inadequacy. Inadequacy.
Inadequacy.
Great. Any questions from anybody? No? All right, so don't be shy about asking if there are a couple of words that you don't quite understand, because I want everyone to follow along and understand everything as we go. So I'll ask, who shall I ask? Ali, could you just tell me one thing that this paragraph here has said that Aldona just read?
I think in the past maybe people think or scientists think if we use our brain, it's it will be worse for our brain over usage or something like that. But
Yeah.
in recent years, research say opposite of them. If you use your brain more, it's better for your brain, like your body.
Thank you, Ali. Perfect. That's an excellent summary. Exactly right. So, Louise, have you ever felt like, oh, I'm using my brain too much? Are you there, Louise?
I'm sorry, teacher. I didn't hear.
All right.
I couldn't hear you.
Sorry, Louise. I know there's something going on with the sound.
There's a background sound.
Okay. I think that's better. All right. So, Louise, what I was asking you is, have you ever felt, oh, I'm using my brain too much?
There's a background sound, teacher. I can hear very well.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm just wondering whether it's... Yeah. Hello, the new student who's just arrived. Could you just talk to me for a moment, please? Your picture is a man's torso wearing a cardigan and a shirt and a tie. Hello? No? Can you say hello to me? I just want to meet you. No? Okay. I think the background noise is coming from the new student because he's maybe having problems with the connection or something. The suit guy, exactly. Yes. Mr. Mystery. Oh, and he's re-entered the class.
Okay.
Sorry about this, Louise. Hello, are you there, new student? No? Alright, well the background noise seems to have stopped. If it comes back, we'll have to deal with it. So, Louise, I can't even remember what I was asking you after all this time. Sorry.
Okay.
What was it? Oh yeah, I just wondered, have you ever felt like you were using your brain too much?
Actually, I have the need to do it because I don't know why, but I just can't sleep if I'm doing something. It's like I have the need to use my brain. I don't have TV because I think I can concentrate much time in one thing, in just one thing.
Okay. So yeah, you feel like you actually need to use your brain a lot, so you haven't ever felt like you've overused it.
Yes, there is also a need to learn things. I am always learning something new. So I like music, I like language. So it's like a need for me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I fell when I was a child.
Maybe it's one of your superhuman powers. Poor Louise, I'm going to tease you about that all lesson now. No, not really, not really. I'll shut up. All right. I like the way you say that you have a need to learn. I'm wondering if any of the other students have that feeling that they always want to be learning something new or working their brain. How about you, Veronica?
Could you say once again? I have some connection problems.
Oh, it's a great class today. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So what the question is Louise was just saying that he has a need. He feels like he wants to use his brain a lot, otherwise he can't go to sleep easily. Do you feel that ever in your life, that you want to keep on learning all the time? Or do you feel sometimes that you overuse your brain?
No, actually in May are my final exams after high school, and these are huge exams and I should learn and do nothing else right now, but it's not working. So actually,
it's not working.
Yeah, actually I would love to have that brain right now, but no, it's definitely not my case.
Okay, very interesting point. So, Veronica, you need some help from Luis. Some of his brain power for the next few months.
Yes, okay, if you've got some brain powers you don't use, just send me some.
I will send some to you.
Oh,
Okay.
such a kind student. Thank you, Louise. See, verbally, where all your problems are solved.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to say hello to Ismail, who's just joined us. Hi, Ismail.
Hi, teacher. How are you?
Welcome to the class. I'm well, thank you. We're just talking about the brain. And Aldona's read the first paragraph for us of this article, and we've just been talking about whether or not we feel like our brains are sometimes overused or perhaps underused. How do you feel about your brain?
My brain?
Mm-hmm.
I think that my brain is slowing down with the age. I was I was more smart when I was young.
You were smarter.
Yes, I was smarter, and I couldn't, for example, learn English in short time because my age. When I was on high school, I learned quickly. My German was perfect, and yeah, I think that our brain is slowing down with the time.
Okay, that's something that I've heard before, Ismail. So, what do you think about learning a language now that you're slightly older? Do you think it's still worthwhile? Do you think it helps your brain, or is it like an extra stress?
Actually, not only learning English. I experienced this slowdown in many areas of life. For example, at workplace, I sometimes read a two-page paper, and I start again, turn at the first sentence, and read again and again to understand. Really?
Does this only happen when you're older? Because this has happened to me before, definitely.
Yes.
So it's like you can't concentrate as easily, maybe.
Maybe I didn't use my brain too much, and my brain are dying with the time.
Oh, Ismail, I hope not.
No,
Well,
it's
hopefully
not
this class is helping.
I think
All
it's
right,
not
thank
about
you.
your brain dying. It's about you have a lot of things to think about. You can't concentrate what you read.
Thank you, Ali. That's a nice way of putting it. So Ali's saying that it's not the fact that you're old, that your brain is getting older, Ismail. It's just the fact that you've got too much on your mind. You can't concentrate because you've got too many things to think about.
Yes.
Could be true. More responsibility goes with more age.
Same
Possibly.
for me, you know.
Same for you, Ali. Oh dear. All these burdens. I'm just going to say hello to Johnny, who's just joined us. Hi, Johnny.
Hello, hi, how are you?
Welcome to the class.
Thank you.
We're just discussing the brain, and our article today is on brain plasticity, which is quite a difficult word to say even for me. So we're going to carry on reading, so please, if you have any questions, just ask. Ali, could you take the second paragraph for us, as people reach middle age?
Okay. There is a noise. Okay. As people reach middle age, exercising the brain and the body to which it is attached, keeping both active, becomes more important. It's one of the few reliable ways to offset the natural wasting process and the damaging influence of our unnaturally sedentary modern life. It also points to new possibilities for the brain to heal itself in the face of disease and trauma.
Perfect. Thank you, Ali. And here you go, is the answer to your problems, Ismail. Does anyone have any questions about the vocabulary?
Offset? What I mean,
Offset. Good one. This is a bit of a tricky word, actually. Does anyone know what offset means in this context? Or does anyone want to have a guess and try and explain it?
like balance or something.
Yes. Balance is a
Compensation.
very good way. Yep. Balance, compensation, exactly that kind of idea. So, to offset the natural wasting process means to try and make up for it, to balance it by doing something to sort of work against it so that it improves again. All right. Aldona, what does it say that some in this paragraph, which is quite short, some of the problems that happen with our brain and why?
Yes, the main problem is that we spend too many hours sitting on without using our brains.
Yep.
And it makes our brains be less efficient.
Okay. Yep, for sure.
Yes. So
excellent. That's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it because it's a short paragraph, but it does tell us a lot. Surprisingly enough, the exercise that you do with your body seems to be important as well as exercise that you do with your brain. So let's carry on reading. Ismail, this one here, for decades.
For decades, physicians and scientists generally believed that the prognosis for most brain problems was grim. The standard view was that the brain had evolved to be so complex and specialized that we had to pay a price for its sophistication. It couldn't repair or restore itself with replacement parts, as was possible with other organs, such as the skin, liver, and blood.
This word here is, blood.
Blood.
Well done. Apart from that, perfect, Ismail. Well done. All right, Johnny, what does this paragraph tell us? For decades, what's it really saying here?
let me see. I think so. The physician said they were doing studies about the brain. About that, they can do some prognosis on the problem with the people having the brains.
Okay. Yep. And what was the general view? What did people used to think?
And some complete. I don't get it.
Okay. Don't worry. We'll make sure everybody understands. Can anyone answer that? What did people used to think about the brain?
They thought that it cannot be fixed.
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
You cannot change part of brain.
Yep. So if something went wrong with it, it couldn't repair itself. It couldn't be fixed because it was so complicated and sophisticated that it was impossible to fix, basically, Johnny, okay? Which is kind of what it says here. It says we had to pay a price. So there was like a disadvantage in a way to its sophistication, but actually I think what it's about to tell us is that's not true. Are there any particular words in here that anyone wants to ask about?
What does grim mean, teacher?
Grim.
Grim.
Does anyone know?
The second line, grim.
Yeah.
Green would be very dark.
Yeah.
Cruel.
Not exactly cruel. Grim is sort of very bad, or as Luis said, doomed. Not hopeful. Okay? The opposite of hopeful, probably. So not good.
Deadly, maybe?
It could, yes, it could be deadly. It's not necessarily deadly. Just, I'd say more along the lines of depressing or not hopeful, something like that. Any other questions? No? All right, let's continue. And Johnny, it's your turn to read that view.
Okay. That view fit with and partly stemmed from an image that had prevailed since the days of the great French philosopher and scientist René Descartes, who described the brain as a glorious machine with discrete parts. Descartes here argued that each of these parts performed a single mental function in a single location. If a part was damaged by a genetic fault or stroke or injury or disease, it was assumed that the body had no resource of its own to deal with the problem. After all, machines cannot repair themselves or spontaneously grow new parts.
Thank you, Johnny. Well done, because you had lots of tricky words in that. Just a couple to go through. The first one is prevailed.
Prevailed,
Prevailed.
prevailed,
Yes, that's better. Well done. So, if you tried maybe just saying the first part, prevail.
prevailed,
Yeah, and then you just add in the D on the end. Prevailed.
prevailed.
Well done. We'll talk about the meaning in just a moment, but there's another word here, if I can find it. Airs. This is pronounced airs.
Airs.
Correct. Yep, it's just the same as the air we breathe. The pronunciation is the same, but the spelling's very different. All right, questions about meaning.
Yeah, exactly. That word airs, what I mean?
Good question. What's an air? Does anyone know?
It's like followers. Descartes followers.
Similar to a follower, not exactly a follower. What's more specific about it than follower?
Successor?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Usually, when we use this word, we mean that somebody who inherits somebody else's property. So your heirs are the people who come after you, your descendants, and they inherit your property, your money, in this case, your ideas, right? So Descartes are the people that followed after him in the specific way that they were continuing his philosophy, okay?
Okay.
Any other questions?
Prevail.
Prevailed. Well done. A bit of a tricky word. What does to prevail mean?
It's like current or
Yes, so in this, actually prevail has two meanings. In this case, what it means is the idea or the image in this case that is the most common or that most people believe or thought, sort of the most common idea. Prevail can also mean something more along the lines of to influence or control, and yes, you could interpret it to mean that here as well, but I think in this case it really means the most common idea or the thing that everybody really thought, okay?
Prevailing visibility.
Yeah, so we often use this word when we say prevailing wind. A prevailing wind is like the wind that you mostly get in a certain area. So wind that comes from the south maybe is the prevailing wind. That's the usual kind of wind. Sometimes the wind comes from another direction, but most of the time it's from the south. So that's what it kind of means. Any other questions? No. Okay, in that case, Luis, it's your turn to tell us about this paragraph. What did we learn from it?
Sorry, teacher. I have to pass because I was not paying attention.
You were not paying attention. You were not paying
Yeah.
attention. But nicely said. That's okay, Luis. I'll let you off because you used some great English. Veronica, how about you?
Once again.
What's the question?
Yes.
Yes, really. What's this paragraph talking? What does this paragraph tell us in a couple of words, just roughly?
It's more or less about the same, that the brain is kind of a machine and it's difficult to fix.
Yes. What particularly, though? What's the key thing that Descartes thought?
That it is a machine, a very complicated machine. So, so if something happens to it, there is no way that it can fix by itself.
Yes, exactly. So I guess the key sentence here really is that the brain's a machine, just as you say, Veronica, and then the other sort of big point is that each of its parts do one thing in one place, right? So this part of your brain does this, the other part of your brain does this. There's not really a connection. If one part goes wrong, too bad, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well done, guys, doing well. Okay, Luis, I think it's your turn to read from Once the Electrical Nature.
Okay. Once the electro nature of the brain was delineated, I don't know, in the
Delineated.
delineated in the 19th century, scientists began speaking of it as a grander sort of machine, an electrical one, with circuits, a metaphor still very much with us. They came to see its circuits as analogous to those of electronic gadgets, unchangeable or hardwired.
Keep going, Luis.
Okay. As the machine metaphor evolved, neuroscientists took to describing the brain as a computer. This master analogy has computer scientists David Gelenter calls it, in criticizing this view, encourages to see thought as software and the brain structure as hardware.
Great. Well, I will go through that with you in just a moment, Luis, but I'm going to get Veronica to read the next couple of paragraphs. The
Okay.
unhappy. Veronica, are you there?
Oh, sorry. Now you hear me?
No problem. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Can you carry on reading for us, please?
Okay. The unhappy practical implication of this view for anyone wishing to maintain his or her brain is clear. Hardware inevitably degenerates with time and use. The rule for a machine is use it and lose it. Many clinicians, under the sway of this analogy, saw patients' attempts to resist their brain's decline through activity and mental exercise as harmless waste of time. Fortunately, a growing body of research suggests that this older view is wrong. It seems that a more accurate rule for our brains is use it or lose it.
Thank you, Veronica. We'll
Okay.
stop there for a sec. So I'm going to go back to Luis. Luis, a couple of words. This one
Okay.
here is analogous.
Analogous.
Well done. And this one here is, if I can find it, encourages.
Encourages.
Great. And then, Veronica, beautiful reading, and just one word for you, which is this one, inevitably.
Inevitably.
Beautiful. Thank you, both of you. All right, let's
Amy,
talk about any words. Yep.
I'm sorry, I just have a question because encourages. After that, there is the us. So how I could speak both together?
This is how you should say it, Luis. Encourages us. Encourages us.
Encourages us.
Correct.
I-
Yep.
Yes, it's hard for me to say the two words together.
It
But
takes a
okay.
bit of concentration. Yeah, it's something that you sort of have to focus on learning how to do, Luis, and then eventually it does come more naturally. What a native speaker will do is just connect up, if you can see, encourages finishes with a consonant, and us starts with a vowel. So whenever you hear a native speaker read, they'll squish the two together. Instead of saying encourages us, they'll say encourages us. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, teacher.
All right, does anyone want to ask about any words? No? Did everyone understand?
Inevitably degenerates.
Okay, cool. So two words here. The first one is inevitably. This is a great word. Does anyone want to explain what inevitably means?
Without being avoided.
Exactly. Thank you. Perfect. It can't be avoided. And degenerates, what does degenerates mean?
Worsen.
Yep, exactly.
Going worse.
Worsen.
Going worse.
Exactly.
Degeneration.
Yep, degeneration means to get worse, really. So you can't avoid getting worse, is pretty much what that means. As time goes on. Any other questions? No? All right, well done, guys. You're doing really well because there's a lot of words in here. Aldona, I'm going to ask you, if we just take that little section that we read with Luis and Veronica, can you give us sort of like the next part of the process? What happened next with scientists and where are we now?
Yes. At the beginning, they compared the brain to a machine. Then they connected to an electrical circuit.
Yeah.
And then they decided that our brain works like a computer. And our brain is like a hardware, and we may also have a software. And so if we have this kind of computer in our head, we should use it.
Yep. Why should we use it?
Because if we don't use it, it will, I don't know, get spoiled.
Yeah, exactly. It will start to degenerate, right? So
Yes.
here you go, Ismail. This is a very cheery class for you. Things are looking up, right? The more you use your brain, the less it's going to degenerate. So I think that we're all quite familiar with this concept, but it is interesting to see how it's taken us quite a long time to get there. It makes me think, maybe we're not quite at the end yet, and there's a lot more that we have to learn about medicine and our bodies. Even though we feel like we've come a long way, things are continually changing. So I just want to ask you, all of you guys, what do you think are the maybe the best ways to keep your brain in action? Do you guys do specific things, or do you just take like your everyday life to be good enough? Do you think learning a language is useful? Do you play Sudoku? What do you guys do? Does anyone want to offer a couple of suggestions?
Yes, Amy.
Okay, Ismail, go ahead.
Doctors propose, especially for old people, to solve some Sudokus, learn a new language. saw some there are on the newspaper questionnaire, or I couldn't remember.
Crosswords. Crosswords.
Crossword, yes. So
Oh, I hate
crossword
crosswords.
Wow.
leaves smartphone because technology is very harmful for our brain. We don't
Yep.
keep any data in our head. We deposit everything in our smartphone or tablets, and it is we don't use our brain, and it is going to kill our brain.
Oh my gosh. Too much smartphone use, too much Google, and not enough crosswords. This is
Yes,
a depressing
Emmy.
realization, Ismail. Thank you. All right, are there any alternatives to crosswords, do you think?
Alzheimer is on the door, Emmy.
Oh no! Quick, I've got to start doing some more crosswords. All right,
Maybe
Wow.
Sudoku?
Pessimistic.
Sudoku. I'm so bad at Sudoku, but now I know why. It's probably because my brain is dying because I don't do enough of it. Oh no. Okay. All right. Aldona, I'm going to get you to read a little bit more. So could you read here? We're going to skip a paragraph and go straight down to the mainstream view.
Okay. The mainstream view in neuroscience and medicine today is that the living brain is actually neuroplastic, meaning that its circuits are constantly changing in response to what we actually do out in the world. As we think, perceive from memories or learn new skills, the connections between brain cells also change and strengthen. Far from being hardwired, the brain has circuits that very rapidly form, unform, and reform.
Thank you, Aldona. Perfect reading. Let's continue before we talk about any vocab. So, Ali, this capacity.
Okay. This capacity is the foundation for the brain's distinctive way of healing. If an area is damaged, new neurons can often take over old tasks. Nor are we just our neurons. Our memories and experiences are also encoded in the patterns of electrical energy produced by our brain cells, like a musical score. As with an orchestra, when one member of the string section is sick, the show can still go on if a replacement has access to the musical score.
Success.
Oh, are you guys still there?
Yeah.
Wonderful. I, for some reason, missed that. I don't know what happened there. Did you finish reading, Ali? I just got to as, and then I somehow missed the rest.
I finished that paragraph.
Perfect. Sorry. I don't know why I suddenly didn't hear the last. Maybe my brain went dead. It's starting to happen already. Oh, okay. Well done. That was really great reading from both of you. Okay, questions firstly about vocab. Everything clear? Okay, wonderful. Luis, can you tell us a couple of things that you found out from these paragraphs? What's it talking about now? Are you there, Luis? Nope, he's gone to quickly do some Sudokus. He's worried about his brain, I think. Veronica, how about you? Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, that's a relief. I thought you guys have all gone off to do Sudoku quickly and try and improve your brain power. All right, so don't worry, guys. We've got some new exciting news. So, Veronica, what did we find out in this section that's kind of exciting?
that the brain is not really a machine, and we have to exercise it doing crosswords and Sudoku. And that if something wrong happens and if something is damaged, other neurons can take over and have the work done instead of the ones that has been damaged.
Yes, exactly, and that is very exciting. All right, thank you, Veronica. The thing that I found kind of interesting is this, because I hadn't really heard about this part before. Did you guys know about this kind of, I like the metaphor that they give you, like a musical score records our memories and experiences, and then if something doesn't work quite so well, one of our other neurons can still play it. It's kind of cute. Did you guys know about this theory or fact before?
No.
You didn't know about it either, Ismail?
I didn't know.
No, I didn't. Well, that's probably because you're too busy doing your crossword puzzles. But anyway, I found it really interesting and kind of exciting because I think that, you know, brain disease is something that we aren't particularly experienced or good at dealing with, and a lot of older people find things like Alzheimer's and other memory problems bad. I have, however, heard that learning a language helps this out. So, Ismail, you are well on the way to becoming really great. You learn a language and you do Sudoku. All right, let's continue reading. We've got a little bit more time. So, Ismail, your turn. This new plastic understanding.
This new plastic understanding has major practical implication for how we treat brain problems and maintain brain health, and it has led to some surprising discoveries. Consider dementia, which in some form affects some 15% of people in the US over age 70 and advances rapidly as we age. A brain with Alzheimer's, the most common form of dementia, turns out by various measures to be a brain that is losing its overall plasticity. It shrinks and loses connection. But a growing body of research has found that exercise, both mental and physical, can lower the risk of experiencing dementia.
Perfect reading, Ismail. See, there you go. It's proof to all of us that you can still be great even though you're older. Right, we're just going to skip past this paragraph here and just read a tiny bit more. That just says that they're doing a test over a group of men who live in Wales. And what they found, I think, is quite interesting. So, Luis, could you read they found that?
Okay. They found that men who consistently did a few things reduced their risk for cognitive decline and dementia by staggering 60%. These activities included eating a healthy diet, at least 3 to 4 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, maintaining a normal weight with body mass index from 18 to under 25, limiting alcohol to about a glass of wine a day, and not smoking.
Thank you, Luis.
Okay.
And Veronica, about the activity?
But the activity with the biggest impact on risk was walking at least 2 miles a day, biking 10 miles a day, or engaging in some other regular, vigorous physical exercise. All 5 of these factors have been found in other studies to promote the general health of 2 types of cells in the brain, neurons and glial cells, which interact with and protect neurons.
Great, thank you. Okay, that was really beautiful reading from all of you. Does anyone want to ask any questions?
What is a staggering 60%?
Okay, staggering. What does staggering mean? Anyone know?
It's more or less?
No, staggering is almost the opposite of that, Aldona. Well, not opposite, I guess. But staggering means something along the lines of shocking or very, very surprising. Like a really big amount. It's sort of saying that this 60% is a huge percentage compared to what you might expect. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one little bit down here which we didn't read, which says, imagine if there were a drug that could reduce the risk of dementia by 60%. It would be the most talked about drug in history. But this astonishing finding has been fairly quietly received because it's just really simple stuff, right? All we have to do is eat fruit and vegetables and not drink too much, don't smoke, don't be overweight or underweight, and try and get some exercise, which is pretty much what humans are supposed to do anyway, right?
Yes.
So what's your reaction to that, Ismail?
I think it's a good news because everything is on our hands and we can handle this health problem. It is not so difficult for an ordinary people to walk 2 miles a day and eat a healthy diet and use your brain a little. Actually, they are good.
Do some more crossword puzzles.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't even mention crosswords here, so I feel better about myself already. And I'm just going to keep going out to do walks, and hopefully that will help instead.
I mean, 60% is a great number. Actually,
it's staggering.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true, Ismail. It's absolutely true. And to be honest, I hadn't really read anything of this kind before about Alzheimer's, because I think a lot of people face it problem, but maybe the nature of our lifestyles as we get older changes and we don't place so much emphasis on those activities. I don't know. What do you think about this, Ali? Is it surprising to you?
Yes, maybe. But I think if you exercise like walking or something like that about your body and exercise your brain at the same time, it's the most it's the best way to
The most
being
beneficial
healthy.
way.
Yeah.
Definitely. Or perhaps take a list of English vocabulary that you want to master and go for a walk and learn your vocabulary as you're walking. Sounds good?
Yeah. Take a
All right,
dictionary
not that I'm
when you are
biased.
walking.
Take a dictionary on your walk. Oh, the
Yeah.
joy! It just sounds so exciting. I can hardly wait to get out there. All right, everybody. Well, thank you very much for some really, really great reading today. I hope this was an interesting and informative class. You can just, not worry so much about Alzheimer's anymore. You know what to do to prevent it. So if I don't see you again, I've got a writing class next. If you want to practice your writing, then come and join me. If not, have a great evening, and I hope to see you all again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
All right, bye, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Amy.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.